All right then, so now let's move on to the next question. So this question is going to be an interesting one. So because this question is write a function of some thirds which takes an array as an argument. Yes, this function should return a sum of every third number in an array starting from the first one. So you need to get the sum of every third number in the array from which is starting from the very first one. Okay, so let's write this question. Close this. And paste it. All right. So first, what we need to do is, so basically what we are trying to do is we need to sum the every third of the array. Okay. So let's do it over here. So I'm just going to say const sum of thirds, which equals to, it's going to take an array. That's the function they given, and that's the array parameter they mentioned. So that's the array that we are supplying it to it. Then initially we need to store the sum value. So let's say sum is equals to 0 initially. Okay, later we can upgrade it. Then for let I equals to 0, because they mentioned they need to access the very first including the first one also. So we need to start it from the 0. Then it needs to go until the array of length, array dot length. Okay, array dot length. Then I need to add every third index. So I plus 3, I plus equals to 3. Okay, open it. Now here I need to loop through every element in that array. Okay, then I need to add every third element which is starting from the index 1, which is exactly, it's going to be sum plus equals to array of that specific position. Simple as that. Then we need to return the sum, which is going to be console.log sum of thirds. Open it. I need to supply the array, which is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, something like that. Then I'm just going to say clear it node index.js, which is going to give me the 12. So which is going to be 1 4. Okay, it's going to every third index, right? 1 2 3. So 1 and 3, which is going to be 4. 1 2 6 4, and this is going to be, okay, that's quite an so it is going to access the every third index. So the picks will be, so what are the number of terms it's going to pick? So the picks will be, so it's going to access the 0th index, then it is going to access the 3rd index, then it is going to access the 6th index, and so on. Okay, so based on that, it is going to access those values. So then after that, it is not going to be beyond that, because it will be out of index. So in this case, the 0th index will be 1 0 1 2 3. This is 1 and 4 will become 5. Then it is going to access the 6th index, 4 5 6, which is going to be 1 plus 4 5, 5 plus 7, it is going to return the answer as 12, right? So this is how that we are calculating the values over here, right? So this is how we are calculating it, right? So I hope you guys understand how we are picking up the index value. So don't check that. So 1 2 3, so after that we need to add this. So then 1 2 3, then we need to add. Okay, so from this 1 2 3, this is the second value. Okay, so including the first one, so we are starting from here. So 1 2 3, then we need to get that value. Then 1 2 3, we need to get that value. So that's the reason we used the equal to, because the reason is it's mentioned over here, starting from the first one. That's the trickiest part. Okay, so usually the people used to miss this equal sign, and then they will directly start from 1 2 3. They start, they pick the value from here and access this value here. So that gives you the quite opposite answer. But here the most trickiest part over here is starting from the first one. right? This one is already optimized, so we don't have to um, worry about it. But here I just need to make sure whether the value which I'm passing it inside it is an array or not. And if that array's length is already less than 0, then I need to return it. So I just have to add one more condition, which is going to be if not array dot is array. Using this function, I will supply the array which I have received inside this function as a parameter. Otherwise, if the array dot length, is lesser than 3, then I just have to return the sum as 0. So if the value which I supplied inside this function, if it is not even an array, or if the array dot length is already less than 3, then I don't have to do anything else. I just have to return the sum value as 0. So by this way, we can make this function as a complete, clean and optimized code. Okay, so now let's try to write like what's it? Write a single liner version the most advanced way, right? So this guard is completely necessary, because this guard it's to ensure the input it's a valid array with at least 3 elements in it. Okay, so please make sure that. Then right after here, I'm just going to say const sum thirds equals to, I'm going to fetch that array out of it. If the array dot length is less than 3, I'm going to return the value as 0, or else I'm just going to say array dot using the filter method. Use the filter method. I'm going to fetch the value along with the index. Okay, so I don't need to worry about the value in this. So that's the reason I'm just ignoring the value just by using the underscore. I don't need to collect that value in a variable, so use the underscore sign. Then I just need to say if I of modulo, if they're dividing the index with 3, if that is equals to 0, right, which means it is going to return the third index alone. Okay, so that's why we are dividing that particular index number with the 3. If the remainder is equals to 0, then it is going to return an array. Then from that array, I'm going to use the reduce function to access the every two elements one after another. Then I'm just going to simply add those 2 elements. Otherwise, I'm going to return the value as 0. That's it. So save it. So that is going to give you the addition of every third index, including the first one in that array. So let's check it out whether it is giving the exact same answer or not. Save it, run it. Of course, we are getting the same answer as 12, right? So here in the filter function, we are accessing the value and along with the index of that value, but I don't need the value. So that's the reason we are using the underscore, but I'm accessing the index and try to divide that index with 3. So it will start from 0, 1, 2, 3. So 3 divided by 3, it is equals to 0. So it will returns the third index. Then it will go for 6. Then it will go for 9 and 12. So something like that. So you will get the very first index, then you will get the third index, then you will get that remaining index. And then we are just using that returned index value in that array. Using the reduce function, we are accessing that multiple values, then we are simply adding it up. If there is any issues happening in this reduce, I'm just simply returning the value as 0. All right, so that's how happening over here. Perfect. So yeah, this is the logic that we written over here. So this is how we will calculate the sum of the third index in that given array. So read the question properly. If they didn't mention, don't use the built-in functions to use that. You are not supposed to use it. So go for this. If there is no instructions like that, you can go with this one directly itself. But when you're answering it, you should be very careful at this particular part. Okay. Otherwise, you just guys just do the console log. Don't do this. Do the console log. You can understand what is the returned output. Then add the reduce. You can understand what is the returned output after that. Okay. So by logging it, you can understand how exactly this program will gives you the output. All right. So let's move on to the next question.